free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There are now apps for selling your home, but they may not be a good idea if you hope to get the best price. CBS's Laura Podesta.
Zillow, Redfin, and Opendoor are just some of the companies buying up homes in more than a dozen U.S. cities. Is Redfin now the Uber of real estate?
You could look at it that way.
Glenn Kelman is the CEO of Redfin. He acknowledges convenience comes at a cost, and offers are often below market value.
Whether it's from Zillow or Redfin now, when we make an instant offer, we charge a premium for that service.
Twin brothers driving separately to the Twins Day Festival in Twinsburg, Ohio, say they each got pulled over for the second time in 2 years. Andy Baker and twin brother Chad were driving from Nashville to Twinsburg, where they were stopped, not for speeding. A trooper thought he was seeing double. Literally, the twins' license plates are so close, the officer thought they were identical. Jim Shenevy, CBS News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Look at that freak!
Look at him. Seems like a nice guy, and he just exudes macho.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome to it, the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live there on YouTube. The YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Run that all together as one word, more like Nation of Jake. Also on Facebook and on Twitter at Nation of Jake on this Friday, August 2nd, year of our Lord 2019, sunny, 85 degrees at the East Memphis studios of KWAM, high of 89 this afternoon into the evening. Look for some thunderstorms this weekend. The Snoopy cloud and lightning bolts are showing up for Saturday and Sunday on my app. I may have to confirm that with some of my friends in the meteorology business. We will do that. Hope you don't have any plans outside. That would be a shame if you got washed out. So the best thing to do is just plan to stay inside this weekend. It's going to be a little hot even if it doesn't rain. So don't go out buying tickets to any big outdoor events. Just hang inside, maybe go to a movie, hang out with the family. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let the nature ruin any of my plans. I'm going to weatherproof my weekend plans. So look for those thunderstorms. Be safe. Whatever that means. Just be safe during a thunderstorm. Stay dry. Whatever. That's a weird way to start out a Friday show. It's been a week, though, hasn't it? Now, we got through both the radio trade deadline and the Major League Baseball trade deadline. There was a big brawl on the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. We learned an awful lot about Baltimore this week, didn't we? With Donald Trump and Representative Elijah Cummings of the House Oversight Committee going back and forth about Baltimore and the crime and the poverty and the rats. There was a shooting at the Walmart in South Haven. Still a lot of details coming out about that. I believe the shooter in the Walmart shooting on, I believe, Tuesday is in serious but stable condition at this point. All week has been Shark Week. We talked a little bit about Shark Week and the lost audio from Elvis Presley Enterprises. I've actually been contacted by their chief copyright counsel, and I will get to that in just a little bit. And we had 2 presidential debates. So it was a week packed full of stuff. It was a busy week, an easy week if you're in my line of work. We'll also do what we do on Fridays here. We'll get into all the stuff that we covered and some of the stuff we missed from the week. We'll also do our What the Hell stories coming up in just a bit, and all the latest breaking news and headlines in the news cruise coming up next hour. But what about those debates? All right, we've got the post-debate reaction, the post-debate polls coming in, because it takes a little while for everybody to kind of digest what went down on Tuesday and Wednesday in Detroit during the second of, I don't know how many there will be, presidential debates. This is probably going to be the last of the two-nighters, because as we've seen, 7 candidates have qualified for the next round of debates next month in September. So the deadline is August 28th. But I don't think if they've got 10 or fewer, they're probably just going to have a one-night debate. So we can draw a lot from kind of the post-debate reaction. I saw just a lot of people up there going after each other because it is a debate. No matter what, Cory Booker is claiming that CNN is pitting Democrats against each other. Well, at this point in the Democrat primary, you are against each other. It's a debate, and you should differentiate yourselves. But what is bad for Democrats right now, the DNC and a lot of the Democrat brass, is they are expressing alarm over the negative tone of the debates. Here it says, Democratic lawmakers were left shaken and worried by Wednesday night's bruising presidential debate, which left some fearing the fight will hurt the party and result in a damaged nominee. And that's why the incumbent has an advantage, because usually they're not going and getting taken apart by their own party for months and months and months, and then they have to kind of recenter their campaign, and all the other candidates who are saying awful things about the nominee, the eventual nominee, they've got to take it all back, which I always thought was weird. You can't take it back. Once you say the words, if you're being truthful, you can't take it back. People might forgive you, but they don't forget what you said. Senate Democrats are frustrated that candidates are spending too much time and effort attacking each other for relatively small policy differences while not focusing their ire on President Trump. Really, is there not enough ire being directed at President Trump right now? Is that really the problem? See, I see it the other way. People who don't like Donald Trump don't like Donald Trump. There's really very little reason to point out what you don't like about Donald Trump. If people's ears are actually open to the Democrat side, which, honestly, if you're paying attention and you have any principles whatsoever, you don't like anybody, including Donald Trump. Because if you are a small government conservative type, you see the Republicans, led by Donald Trump, spending way too much money. And on the other side of the aisle, that's all they're going to do. Democrats are going to spend money on money we don't have, on stuff we really don't need. Whether it's Green New Deal, canceling college debt, health care, Medicare for all. There's really no good choice here. So you got to pick the lesser of two evils. And it's still evil. The Democratic brass worry the intra-party food fight is overshadowing what they see as the main goal, drawing a clear contrast between the Democratic candidates and Trump on health care and other key issues. I'm pretty sure everybody knows the difference. All right, you're talking about higher taxes to pay for more stuff versus lower taxes to pay for less stuff, or just different stuff, because the government is bloated, $22 trillion in debt. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, especially when they just signed off on this big infrastructure deal, this big budget deal the other day, which raises the debt ceiling, borrows more money. So, I'm just not sure if I'm buying the concerns. Dianne Feinstein from California says, I'm of the view that we have always been a party of ideas. I think everybody should sort of consider that. Now, she says there's concern within the caucus of the increasingly vicious attacks, particularly against frontrunner former Vice President Joe Biden. People take sides, and they've become hypersensitive, and that just makes divisions all over the party, and we don't want that. I want every one of our candidates to do well. Well, they can't all do well. There's 24 of them. They can't all do well. Some of them are just don't even belong there. And they should swallow their pride and drop out. Kirsten Gillibrand does not belong there. Michael Bennett does not belong there. Jay Inslee does not belong there. Beto O'Rourke does not belong there. And I would argue that most of them don't belong there. There can only be one, and you've got 24 right now. Unbelievable. Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut, he blamed the debate moderators for much of the negativity. And that's what they do. Oh, CNN, you're being negative. NBC, you're being negative. All your legit questions are just Republican talking points. And you're just doing this for ratings. Well, of course. Well, what's the point, right? Putting it on TV as a public service, that's gone. That's not what people do anymore. They want fireworks, they want ratings. But honestly, above all, you've got to get up there and debate and differentiate yourself and stand out. Now, Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer also voiced concern about the tone of the debates, saying no circular firing squads. Well, hold on. He keeps on using that circular firing squad. Can we talk real quick about, that's called a Mexican standoff. It's not called a circular firing squad. Mexican standoff, you've seen it in a lot of Tarantino movies. You saw it in True Romance. Mexican standoff, I believe, in the Reservoir Dogs. You see it all. You see it's called a Mexican standoff. It's not called a circular firing squad. So they're all upset. You know, a lot of the attacks from like Tulsi Gabbard on Kamala Harris. Tulsi Gabbard may have ended Kamala Harris's presidential bid. Kamala was kind of on the brink. I wouldn't call her a top-tier candidate. She was kind of middling. And then somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, who has no shot, just comes in and just decimates Kamala Harris's potential bid for the White House. Now, after 2 nights of debates, where are we in the polls? You know, you got to look at, who got the bump. Well, honestly, I mean, after all the fireworks and all the talking about it, they've not changed. The polls really haven't changed. Standing in contrast to the first set of debates, this week's matchups did little to immediately impact potential Democratic primary voters' preferences for president. Everybody still likes Joe Biden. So Joe Biden did just enough to stay the front runner. 32% of Democratic primary voters said they still want to see Vice President Joe Biden at the top of the party's 2020 ticket. That's according to the new Morning Consult polling conducted after Tuesday and Wednesday's debates in Detroit. That figure hasn't shifted much since the end of the first round of debates, when 33% said Biden was their first choice. No candidate saw movement outside the survey's margin of error of 2 percentage points. So nothing has changed. People still see Biden as the front runner. They still like his ties, I guess, to Barack Obama, even though everybody on the debate stage pretty much said, President Obama's health care bill was terrible and health care is broken regardless of Obamacare or the ACA. And they also said that there were problems with his immigration policies and among other things. And now they're all walking that back. They're all saying, no, President Obama was amazing. We didn't mean to attack President Obama. You got a Joe Biden here saying.
I was a little surprised at how much their incoming was about Barack, about the president. I mean, I'm proud of having served with him. I'm proud of the job he did. I don't think there's anything he has to apologize for.
You know what's really strange, though? Joe Biden is the front runner, but you have not heard anything from former President Barack Obama about Joe Biden. Barack Obama has given Joe Biden his implicit endorsement for president by having had him as a VP, but you've heard nothing from President Obama, which is out of character for him, because he even said that he was going to do activism. He's got this big Netflix deal that's happening, that he wasn't just going to silently, stand by, like presidents in the past have. George W. Bush has not been very vocal about politics or really anything since he left office. He just lets the next president do his job and not get involved. President Obama said he wasn't going to be like that, but in this political season, he hasn't said much, even though, his legacy was under full attack at a Democrat debate. Unreal. So, we've had the debates the past, couple days here and kind of chopping it up, getting the clips together and kind of seeing, is it even going to make a difference at this point? Because these debates, they just come off. No candidate gets to really say much. It's just kind of like top-line, superficial attacks on each other. So, yeah, they're concerned. They're concerned, I guess. If everybody's attacking each other, then nobody is. And the polls remain unchanged, and Joe Biden's your guy. The problem, though, is that Joe Biden hadn't looked great. And how is he going to hold up in a debate with Donald Trump? A guy who will just pass right on through. He'll be the nominee for the Republicans, obviously. And so, can he weather the storm and the attacks? Can he go head-to-head with Donald Trump? I mean, he's having trouble going head-to-head with all these other losers he's on stage with. So, I guess we'll see. And then as far as debates go, locally, we said yesterday, we talked about it, that the Commercial Appeal and WMC Action News 5 is going to host a Memphis mayoral debate on September 19th at the University of Memphis. Now, from what I'm reading, this will be free to the public, and that ticket information will be released, and it's just going to be like a 1-hour debate on September 19th. And there's no way they're going to be able to fit all those candidates, all the people running for mayor of Memphis, onto one stage and have a substantial debate on anything in just 1 hour. But I've read that they are also going to limit it to 4 candidates. How do you do that? Strickland, Harrington, Sawyer, and then who's the 4th? You have a dozen other people running. I mean, who gets to decide that? Who decides who is the most viable candidates for the mayor of Memphis? So we will see. We'll see if all the parties to agree to it. And I know that Willie Harrington he's known for skipping out on debates. He's kind of like, look, everybody knows me. I can go out and call a press conference. I don't have to go on your debate. I'm not going to go debate and raise the profile of my opponents. It's dumb. I mean, he's got a point, because that's all you're doing, agreeing to a debate and showing up so people will tune in and they see your opponents. So we'll see who shows up, who partakes, and then who they'll allow on stage with that. So the debates were fun this week. Also, I think that President Trump, he had a rally last night in Cincinnati, and I'm sure that he said a lot of shocking things. Let's take a listen to the Trump rally. I'm sure he talked about the Baltimore stuff. I'm sure he talked about the debates. We'll take a listen to the Trump rally in Cincinnati last night, and we'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
You and your friends and associates are invited to attend the Mississippi Senior Expo and Health Fair, Thursday, September 19th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Brown Missionary Baptist Church, located at 7200 Swinia Road in South Haven, Mississippi. There will be health exams, flu shots, entertainment, and this year, there'll be food trucks on site to allow you to enjoy lunch while you're there, and a demonstration on healthy living by the Silver Sneakers. The Mississippi Senior Expo and Health Fair is promoted by the DeSoto Times and the Best Times. Mark your calendar for September 19th. You'll be glad you did.
If you're a baby boomer here in the Mid-South area, this message is for you. We've designed a brand new radio show with you in mind. It's The Retirement Income Doctor, hosted by Dave McAdams of the McAdams Group. Each week, Dave will teach you retirement strategies that have worked year after year, decade after decade, in any kind of market. That's right, the Retirement Income Doctor will teach you these strategies. So join us Saturday mornings at 10 for the Retirement Income Doctor.
Mid-South Calibration in Memphis supports the large number of veterans in the U.S. who suffer from PTSD or other hardships. If you're a veteran in need, the Veterans Crisis Hotline is available at 800-273-TALK or by texting 838-255. Please know that there are people out there who care. This from Mid-South Calibration in Memphis. If you're hearing this message and you reach out to a veteran in need, the life you save may be a friend's, a neighbor's, or a loved one's.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube. The channel is Nation of Jake, one word, Nation of Jake. You can follow me on Facebook and on the Twitter. We're going to go ahead on this Friday and get all the Trump stuff over and done with before we move in onto all the fun stuff that we do on Fridays. Got the What the Hell stories coming up in a little bit. Also, a great story about a baseball prospect who got signed after throwing the ball around at the ballpark. And he went to one of those radar gun things. Now, let's see how fast you can throw. And they were like, what? So that's coming up in a little bit. Since we were talking about the baseball trade deadline and the radio trade deadline this week, we'll get into that in a bit. And also, an opportunity to go watch It Chapter 2 with a bunch of clowns, not for the chorophobics in the Nation of Jake. All right, all week long, I mean, Donald Trump has been all over the place. He's been feuding with Representative Elijah Cummings of Maryland's 7th District, which includes Baltimore. He called Baltimore a rat and rodent-infested city. And he said maybe Elijah Cummings needs to oversee Baltimore a little bit better than he currently is. And that was a scandal. Donald Trump also, after the Fed cut rates by 0.25%, he decided he wanted to jump back into the old trade war with China. All right, now the stock market's down like hell. It started the week at over 27,000. Now it's down like 900 points. So he's playing games with the economy right now. And then he had a rally. Another one of these MAGA rallies, which, again, listen, I'm not into the MAGA rallies. I'm not into any political rally. I would not go to a political rally. It's not how I would spend my time. I don't worship these guys like they're rock stars. You know, it's funny because when people send me hate mail and send me messages, there are some people who think I'm super pro-Trump by the way I talk about Donald Trump. And then there are other people who think I'm anti-Trump. I'm just kind of there, kind of taking it as it comes. The stuff that Trump does that I like, I'll say, hey, not a bad deal here, Trump. Oh, you're going to get that ASAP Rocky rapper back from Sweden, which I think he has. Oh, good for you. Cool. If he does something that I don't like, I'll tell you I don't like it. I didn't think it was necessary to go after Baltimore and go after Elijah Cummings. The latest is Donald Trump is tweeting sarcastically about Elijah Cummings' house getting broken into in Baltimore. Now, here's the thing about it. The break-in of Elijah Cummings' burglary at his home in Baltimore happened before Donald Trump started tweeting about Baltimore being a terrible city. It was Saturday, July 27th at 3:40 a.m. when an individual attempted to gain entry into the residence of Elijah Cummings. He scared the intruder away by yelling at him. So, hey, get out of here. And the guy went running away. It wasn't until 4 or 5 hours later, before Donald Trump knew anything about the guy's house getting broken into, did he tweet about Baltimore being infested with rats and rodents. All right, so it's not like Donald Trump's tweeting about Baltimore and Elijah Cummings led to the guy's house getting broken into. That said, I could do without it. What does it solve? I mean, I would like to have a president with some decorum, with some respect for the office, But the guy's not going to be that guy. And when you give me the alternative is just a bunch of Democrats talking about Medicare for all and Green New Deals and canceling student debt and free college for everybody and raising taxes with plans in the tens of trillions of dollars, sorry, there's just no place for me. So, yeah, I kind of take it as it comes. Now, Donald Trump was at a MAGA rally last night, and again, I don't like him. I don't like any political rallies. I'm not that kind of guy. They're not rock stars, y'all. These people are supposed to be public servants, not rock stars. This is exactly what the Founding Fathers warned against, that people would seek fame and fortune by going and holding federal office. If you go back and read all this stuff, they're saying these guys are supposed to go and serve and come back and live among their constituents. They're not supposed to go to Washington or at the time New York or wherever the hell the capital was going to be and go get rich and write books. It's not the way it was supposed to be, and we're doing it wrong. All right, but there was a MAGA rally, and Donald Trump, he addressed a lot of the stuff we talked about this week. He talked about the Democrat debates.
Watching the so-called debate last night, and I also watched the night before. That was long television. And the Democrats spent more time attacking Barack Obama than they did attacking me, practically. Yeah. And this morning, that's all the fake news was talking about. That's all they were talking about.
Yeah, you can hear all the groupthink right there, all the people cheering and booing. Yeah, he went on about it, the Baltimore stuff and the plight of the inner cities.
For decades, these communities have been run exclusively by Democrat politicians. And it's been total one-party control of the inner cities. For 100 years, it's been one-party control. And look at them. We can name one after another, but I won't do that. Because I don't want to be controversial. We want no controversy.
And he stands there smiling. Yeah, I just can't get into this scene, I mean, what he's doing, he's playing to his base. You've got Democrat debates. They're all looking divided. They're all tearing each other apart. And so he goes on TV because here's the perception is reality, right? He goes in front of a people who adore him, and he gets a lot of applause. He gets a lot of, laughs. And so it's kind of like, oh, everybody loves him. He's doing great. Look, he's just off the cuff. So, it's not, again, not my scene. And I could do without a lot of it. Here's where some people took some exception to the facts. Now, this is interesting. Check it out.
The homicide rate in Baltimore is significantly higher than El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala. I believe it's higher than, give me a place that you think is pretty bad. Give me a place. The guy says Afghanistan. I believe it's higher than Afghanistan. In our country, think of that. I believe we'll check the numbers, and if we're wrong, they will tell us tomorrow. It'll be headlines. Trump exaggerated. I do believe the rate is higher than Afghanistan.
I think he's right. I think that the rate in Afghanistan is actually lower than the homicide rate in Baltimore, MD. I read the numbers yesterday. I'm looking for them now, but I'm pretty sure he's right, which is eye-opening, which is the truth. Now, does it have anything to do with Elijah Cummings, the representative from Baltimore? No, it has more to do with the way that Baltimore's been run. But he makes a good point. He's talking about, hey, it's been Democrat control for probably not 100 years, but definitely for 50 years or so. He also, Donald Trump was talking about everything. He'll go on for an hour more and talk about just anything that's going on in the news. And it seems off the cuff, and I'm guessing a lot of it is. He's not always on prompter. He goes off prompter. And again, there's kind of the appeal. It's like, hey, this guy will say anything. He's his own attack dog. Here's what he had to say about the Mueller hearings from last week.
Rob Portman's down. And then about 4 weeks later, he was up by like 24 points. I said, what the hell did you do? And you know what he did? He does a great job. That's what he did. Senator Rob Portman.
From Ohio.
Great guy. And we have a few guys that, these are warriors. A couple of them you saw the other day, they were questioning Bob Mueller. That was a beauty. He was sharp, wasn't he? He was sharp as a tack.
And obviously, Bob Mueller was not sharp as a tack last week in those hearings. And that's Donald Trump being sarcastic, as he was in his tweet about it being too bad that Elijah Cummings' house got broken into and burglarized there. And it's weird, right? I mean, it's weird to have a president who just kind of gets in the dirt. Like he just gets his hands dirty and he says what he wants. Actually, there was an interview. I don't know if you saw this interview the other day. It's been online. Don Lemon from CNN was interviewing a pastor, I guess, Bill Owens. Bill Owens is his name. This is an African-American pastor who has no problem with Donald Trump. And Don Lemon said something about, Donald Trump has been racist and he's attacked a lot of black lawmakers. And this pastor, Bill Owens, was saying, hold on, Donald Trump attacks everybody. He doesn't matter what your race is. He will attack you. And Don Lemon was confused. He's like, well, is that very Christian-like? Is that very godly? Are you condoning that? He said, no, I'm not condoning anything. I'm just pointing out that Donald Trump will attack anyone. And that's what's different about this president than most, is that most presidents, as I've pointed out before, most presidents have tried to stay above the fray. The presidents don't have to go out and attack others of their own accord or on their own behalf. They've got people to do it. President Obama had guys like Anthony Weiner and Chuck Schumer and Steve Cohen from right here in Memphis as their attack dogs. They were the ones who would go on the news shows and say ridiculous stuff. Like Steve Cohen calling the GOP Goebbels, comparing them to Hitler's regime over a healthcare debate. Now, President Obama would never have done that. He was of the mind, I'm going to stay above the fray and be a uniter, at least as he tried. I mean, he let some stuff fly that was not very unifying, talking about people clinging to their God and their guns and the bitter clingers and whatnot. So, no, he didn't do a good job of it. That said, he never got down and dirty with his own attacks. Rarely did he. Same with Bush. He had his attack dogs. Clinton had his attack dogs. Donald Trump is his own attack dog. And that has really upset a lot of people. They're not used to seeing a president of the United States comport himself that way. And so then you see it in the MAGA rallies, and it's gotten to the point where it's been normalized to the point where, yeah, it's just him. That's just him. And unless you have an alternative to Trump that is not somebody over on the super progressive liberal side, a borderline, if not all the way in, a socialist pool, then we have nothing to discuss here. We're just too far apart. So that's kind of, where I think a lot of people are. They're just going to look and say, hey, what's the economy doing? You've got a bunch of Democrats saying they're going to raise your taxes. And you've got a president who has cut taxes. And by the way, neither of them care about debts and deficits. So there is no party of fiscal responsibility anymore, unless you want to count the libertarians. And, libertarians have been irrelevant for forever. John McAfee is your main libertarian guy. So you really can't do much. There's a lot of people out there who just don't feel like they have a party and they don't feel like they have a candidate. So they're just going to go with the guy they think that, is going to do less damage to their checkbook, to their bank account, to their wallet. All right, coming up, we got all the what the hell stories. There are plenty, so much, so many this week. I thought about doing it a few times all week long, but I got a stack of what the hell stories, and we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News update. The Trump administration is moving forward with another round of tariffs on Chinese goods, 10% on another $300 billion worth of imports. White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow says the president is reacting to a lack of progress in trade talks with Beijing.
Future actions on tariffs and related matters depends on the progress of the China trade deal.
Now, the Chinese have vowed to retaliate, renewing worldwide concerns for an extended trade war. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
If you put yourself in the headspace of a big company or anyone who's trying to hire, the looming threat of tariffs might prevent you from making hiring decisions. It might prevent you from making expansionary plans. So this uncertainty could actually be another layer of pressure on the U.S. economy, which is already slowing down.
Meantime, the president has just announced a deal to sell more American beef to Europe. CBS News update. I'm Jim Mishenlevy.
Hi, this is Governor Phil Bryant. Who serves as Mississippi's next state treasurer is very important. That's why I'm endorsing my good friend David McRae. Now, David's not a career politician. He's a pro-Trump conservative with the business experience that prepared him to be our next state treasurer. I know David McRae will protect our credit rating, improve the returns on our investments, and be a watchdog of our tax dollars. You trusted me as governor, and now I'm asking you to trust me again and support my good friend David McRae for state treasurer.
David McRae, husband to Katie and father of 3. David is a fourth-generation Mississippian, a Christian who shares our traditional values. McRae's department store was a real Mississippi success story. A successful businessman today, David McRae is ready to serve as our state treasurer. A supporter of the Second Amendment and pro-life. A pro-Trump conservative Republican. One of us, not a professional politician. David McRae for state treasurer.
Paid for by David McRae for treasurer.
This is Clark Howard. I have something that totally polarizes Americans, and it's not politics. It's yards. Do you know more and more Americans are putting in fake grass for their lawns instead of traditional grass? The great thing about this is over time, it saves you a lot of money. You'll pay typically 6 times the cost to put in an artificial grass instead of real grass at your home. Even to dig up the grass you have and put in artificial. You may wonder, why would I spend that money? Because after that, you don't spend money on watering the lawn. You don't have to cut the lawn. You don't have to have a lawn service. It is an enormous savings. And the cool thing is the fake grasses being sold now look so much like real grass, have imperfections in them and weeds, you can't tell a lot of times.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
HomeAdvisor.
All right, welcome back to it. It's the Nation of Jake.
Yes, have some.
On The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMthevoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube if you prefer video. You gotta have video these days. They've made it so easy. Stream it right from your phone to your phone. We're on YouTube. Get the YouTube app and subscribe to the Nation of Jake channel. That's one word, Nation of Jake. That's how you find me on YouTube. It's just another way you can listen or watch the Nation of Jake. All right. So each week, I compile all the weirdest, most bizarre stories into a segment that we call What the Hell?
What the hell?
Yeah, what? People exercise bad judgment all the time. Sometimes weird stuff just happens to people. Let's start here in Kentucky. A couple camping at a national park in Kentucky said they were rousted from their tent by a man who told them he had seen a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch. The man said he fired into the darkness after the ape-like monster that has never been proven to exist lunged at him, according to the couple telling CNN on Wednesday. Law enforcement rangers with the Mammoth Cave National Park responded to the incident involving the camper with the firearm at one of the park's backcountry campsites early Sunday. The statement did not confirm a Bigfoot sighting, but Molly Schreier, the park spokeswoman, said no threat remains in the park. Madeline Durand and her boyfriend, Brad Ginn, who reported the incident to park rangers, said the encounter frightened them. Then the attention over the alleged sighting of the cryptozoological mystery known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch has surprised the Bowling Green, Kentucky couple. I was mostly just concerned about him shooting the gun in the middle of the night without him really seeing anything, said Durand, 22. So, yeah, I guess if you're camping and a guy comes and tries to wake you up saying, hey, I think I just shot at Bigfoot. Well, did you see him? No, I didn't see him. I just shot into the darkness. It could have been anyone or anything. You got to be careful with the guns in the dark in the wilderness. Honestly, if I see a Bigfoot, the last thing I want to do is kill him. I want to be friends with him. All right? I want to maybe take him home, let him take a shower, hang out, and ask what he's been doing all these years. I'm a big fan of Bigfoot. I mean, we should actually have a Bigfoot week. Shark Week does it. They do the whole thing about the megalodon shark or mermaids or whatever the hell might be in the deep depths of the ocean. I'm not sure if deep depths is something that should ever be uttered. It's kind of redundant. That said, I mean, we've seen other Bigfoot sightings. I mean, we got people claim to have seen Bigfoot. And what you do when you see Bigfoot is you don't shoot at Bigfoot. You get a stick or something and you tell him to get. We know that.
Hey, you have beautiful hair.
He does. Bigfoot's got beautiful hair. So we had a Bigfoot sighting in Kentucky this week. We have a lawsuit. This one is out of Nevada. A Nevada CEO filed a lawsuit after his application to create a political party was rejected. His political party is my kind of party. It's called the WTF Party. Blockchain CEO Jeffrey Burns filed a lawsuit against Nevada Secretary of State Barbara Kizgavsky, whatever the hell her name is, Sagavsky, claiming the name is non-vulgar, peaceful political expression, the WTF Party. What's that, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday party? I like that. 3-day weeks. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday party. Burns' attorney, Maupin, Cox, and Lagoy, argued in the suit obtained by The Independent that blocking the party violated the First and 14th Amendments. The case lists examples of other minor political parties with potentially offensive names, including the American Beer Drinkers Party. How's that offensive? The phrase WTF is not itself profanity, and there exist numerous interpretations for the acronym, says the lawsuit. The acronym can represent a potentially offensive connotation that does not overcome the protections provided by the United States Constitution. All right. WTF could also stand for what the, you know what I'm saying, what the F. That said, didn't they just have a copyright lawsuit that says like that guy who has the brand that is pronounced like a curse word but is spelled F-U-C-T? He won his lawsuit. He can trademark that, and he can get federal trademark protection for that. How does that not extend down to something like this? If you want a WTF political party, I mean, isn't that kind of in the spirit of free speech?
What the hell?
Good. I would join the party. I would join that party just based on the name alone. And I'm not a partisan guy. don't do it. Oh, check this one out. This is scary, man. This one is like for real deal. Some middle schoolers in Columbus, Ohio, were sentenced to probation after they played a dangerous prank on their teacher.
What the hell?
You figure, what kind of pranks do you play on a teacher? Bucket of water over the door, maybe replace the chalk with something unchalk-like. I don't know. The art teacher at Starling K-8 school in Columbus made it clear her classroom was a banana-free zone. This woman doesn't like bananas. In fact, she's allergic to bananas, and she informed her classroom she was allergic to bananas severely, and she asked any student who may have eaten one to wash their hands before entering the room. So she told all these kids, hey, I'm allergic to bananas. No bananas are allowed in this classroom. But last November, the teacher nearly died when 3 students smeared a banana on her door and then started throwing bananas at her. What the
hell?
The teacher went into anaphylactic shock in less than 15 minutes. She starts to change colors. A school security employee can be heard saying on a body camera from police as officers arrived at the school. They gave her one EpiPen. It wasn't working. They gave her another EpiPen. Her throat was starting to close up. Her colleagues called 911. She was rushed to the hospital where she recovered. All of the kids know she is deathly allergic to bananas. If it touches her, she will go into shock. Officers found a piece of banana under a table after it had hit the teacher's arm and leg. A 13-year-old girl and 2 13-year-old boys were sentenced to probation for the attack. So, it's funny, when you think about, you're allergic to bananas. You have a banana, it's going to make you sneeze. No, man, when you got an allergy to something like that. I knew a guy who was allergic to milk. Like, he wore a medical alert bracelet because he was allergic to milk. His name was Chris. And I'm like, what are you allergic to, man? What's your medical alert bracelet all about? He said, I'm allergic to milk. I was like, milk? Like, you're allergic, lactose intolerant? He's like, no, I'm allergic to milk. If I got milk spilled on me, I would blow up like a balloon. I'm like, wow, that's odd, right? He's like, not really. There are people who are allergic to milk, eggs, bananas. And I'm like, so wow, when people say don't cry over spilled milk, they're telling you don't die over spilled milk. And it was like a real thing. And I think there was a freaks and geeks about this. Got a peanut allergy, and they're like, he's just lying. And they gave him a peanut, and he went into shock. Oh, and this one, this is the last one. I went to the dentist this week, and then the same day I read this story.
What the hell?
A 7-year-old boy in India has been relieved of a years-long swelling and pain in his jaw after doctors removed a growth that had been harboring over 500 teeth inside. Now, I saw the x-ray on the story of this. This kid had like 526 teeth inside his mouth, and they were all growing in rows like a shark's mouth. This happened in India. Dental surgeons removed the growth, which was approximately 4 to 5 centimeters and 3 centimeters in size, and gave to the histopathology department for further investigation. They came out with 526 teeth, and they took them all out. They dissected the growth, which was a composite odontoma, they call it. Hundreds of tooth fragments ranging in size. So this kid, 7 years old, he had this discomfort in his jaw since he was 3. So for 4 years, he was living with over 500 teeth, extra teeth in his mouth. That is...
What the hell?
That's insane. How about that? Just go to the dentist, man. I didn't go to the dentist for a while, and I had some problems. They're like, hey, man, your teeth are all... I'm all good now. Everything's fine, but you just got to go to the dentist like once a year, once every 6 months, whatever it is. Because maybe you got 500 extra teeth and you don't know it. You're 7. 500 teeth. That's going to be expensive for the tooth fairy. She's going to have to pay out, what? Even if it was $1 a tooth, In 2019, you got to give a minimum of $1. All right, coming up, if you are coulrophobic, you might want to brace yourself for this next story. If you suffer from coulrophobia, I don't suggest that you listen closely. Still listen, but just don't listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. I'll tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Looking for a cool way to get a new home comfort system without breaking the bank? The Advantage program from Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning gets you a high-quality home comfort system for one low monthly rate. There's no money down, never a charge for repairs, and seasonal tune-ups are free. Right now, get a new home comfort system as low as $99 a month and no additional charges ever. Call Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning today at 866-EXPERTS or visit ServiceExpertsMemphis.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Groban and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide you monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
All right, welcome back. The Nation of Jake.
Yes, have some.
On The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. Nation of Jake, the channel, one word, Nation of Jake. Facebook, Twitter, at Nation of Jake. You know the deal. You also know the deal that it's Friday, and nobody likes to work too hard on Fridays, including me. So it's mostly just a mishmash of goofy stories that I've found here on the old interwebs. Check this out. Did you see It, the new one? Pennywise the Clown, Stephen King's It, the movie. I didn't see it. I can't watch a lot of movies like that because I got kids, and I'm not going to show my kids a scary clown movie. I do have a clown mask that from time to time I'll put on, and I'll frighten the children a little bit, like, it's more like I'll startle them with the clown mask on. And it's in my whole backpack full of masks I've got, right? So, It, even the one back with Tim Curry on TV, that was kind of like the beginning of people being deathly afraid of clowns. I mean, clowns are kind of creepy, but the Stephen King book and then made-for-TV movie, It, kind of did it. Poltergeist, that scary clown. I mean, a clown can be scary in any context, but that was it. That kind of like brought the creepy clown to the mainstream. Well, now we've got It Chapter 2 coming out. All right, the Stephen King adaptation on screen. And you have an opportunity to go and watch It in a clowns-only screening. That's right. The Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, Texas, the Artisan Theater, has announced that it's going to host another series of clowns-only screenings for the sequel's opening weekend. We terrified coulrophobes, that would be those with a fear of clowns, with sold-out clowns-only screenings of Stephen King's It Chapter 1 in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, Omaha, and Brooklyn. Folks took notice. The company announced on its website, are they back for the concluding chapter of Stephen King's magnum opus? Oh, yes. Sure enough, tickets are on sale for the special and especially horrifying screenings in locations across the United States. That's right. You can go into a screening of Stephen King's It Chapter 2 with a bunch of other clowns. Clowns only. I'm just going to have to tell you right now, I'm going to take a hard pass on this opportunity to go watch a movie about a terrifying clown with a bunch of other clowns. I went to go see Halloween H2O, which was, another remake of the old Halloween series with, Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis, whatever. Not the actor Mike Myers, the mask and the jumpsuit. And some guy in a Mike Myers mask came out during the movie, stood at the side of the theater and just stared at everybody. And I just looked over and I thought my life was ending. I got paralyzed with fear. I mean, there's fight or flight, or there's just play dead. That's me. All right, coming up, a bunch of more nonsense on a Friday.
Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Sheneby. President Trump's nominee to be the next National Intelligence Director, Texas Republican Congressman John Ratcliffe, no longer wants the job. CBS's Bill Rakoff.
Ratcliffe says in a tweet that he doesn't want a national security and intelligence debate surrounding his confirmation to become political and partisan. Ratcliffe is accused of embellishing what critics call his thin intelligence experience to suggest that he arrested as a federal prosecutor more than 300 undocumented immigrants in a single operation. President Trump says Ratcliffe has been treated very unfairly by the media. Bill Rakoff, CBS News, Washington.
China is threatening to retaliate, but the Trump administration is moving forward with a 10% tariff on another $300 billion worth of Chinese goods. CBS's Ben Tracy.
It's likely consumers will actually notice this time. This is a 10% tariff on $300 billion worth of Chinese goods. And when you add in the other tariffs that already exist, this means that basically everything that China sends to the U.S. now has a tax on it. The difference here is that we're no longer talking about just like washing machine parts. This is going to be tennis shoes and T-shirts and iPhones and iPads. This is stuff people go and buy at Walmart and at Target.
Hiring slowed in July. The Labor Department reporting the economy added 164,000 jobs last month. That's still a solid number, and a record 157,288,000 people are now employed. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Notable gains in July occurred in places where we've seen consistent growth. Professional and technical services, 31,000 jobs. Healthcare, 30,000 jobs. Social assistance, 20,000 jobs.
The unemployment rate held steady at 3.7%. Singer R. Kelly today pleaded not guilty to sex charges in a New York City federal courtroom. CBS's Wendy Gillette.
In a CBS interview Thursday, Kelly's attorney said his client may have acted like a rock star, inviting the girls backstage after concerts, but he did not engage in a criminal enterprise.
That's just plain out wrong. That's not an environment that was created. That was never an intent of anyone involved, and it was just not done.
The Grammy-winning singer is facing serious charges, including engaging in child pornography in a separate case in Chicago.
An administrative law judge today recommended the firing of Daniel Pantaleo, a New York City police officer accused of using a chokehold in the 2014 death of Eric Garner, an unarmed black man. Garner's daughter, Emerald.
This has been a long battle. 5 years too long. And finally, somebody has said that there's some information that this cop has done something wrong.
On Wall Street, the Dow down 161 points, the NASDAQ off 123. This is CBS News.
The CBS World News Roundup Late Edition with Jim Sheneby.
President Trump held a series of meetings today on the border wall.
Every weeknight on the CBS Radio Network.
Restrictions may apply. Plans may vary. Call for details. In these hard economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you do own a car, truck, or SUV made from $19.99 or higher, you could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just call now to see if you qualify. You must have an automobile made from $19.99 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call 800-377 800-370-6716 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. That's right, total protection for your car and no more repair bills. Just call 800-370-6716 to see if your car qualifies. Call 800-370-6716. That's 800-370-6716. Never pay for car repairs again. Just call 800-370-6716. That's 800-370-6716. Again, 800-370-6716.
A blood test for Alzheimer's. Gary Nunn reports.
The test is said to be 94% accurate, letting doctors diagnose changes in the brain linked to dementia. Washington University researchers' study results were published in the journal Neurology. The blood test could help speed up creation of a new treatment for Alzheimer's, which affects more than 5 million Americans. It could be available in doctors' offices in a few years, perhaps revealing signs decades before symptoms surface. Gary Nunn, CBS News.
21-year-old Ashley Robinson of New Richmond, Wisconsin, the victim of a dirty trick. She bought a bottle of Pantene shampoo from a local Walmart that apparently had been tampered with. Someone put hair removal cream inside the bottle, causing her hair to fall out in clumps. Robinson making an emotional post on Facebook with photos of her bald patches. She urged friends to check bottles of that product before they use it, saying the color and the smell were off. Jim Shenevy, CBS News.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to National Tax Helpline, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call now for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Tax Helpline, 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055 for free information. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055.
Jake, where'd you get those boots?
But he's got meat between his ears.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome back to it. The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. The channel is Nation of Jake. One word. And you can also follow along on Facebook and on the Twitter at Nation of Jake. Anywhere you go on the internet, Nation of Jake will take you to me 99% of the time. And then there's that 1% of the time where you might get some 14-year-old who really liked the look of my logo, and his name is probably Jake, and he's probably a good kid. After all, the name Jake comes from the Hebrew competitor, champion. That's some name. Guy said that to me one time. He was in awe. This guy named Mike. He was really into the etymology of names. And he loved to go and tell you what your name meant, and then he would kind of just stand there in appreciation of the origin of your name. All right, so we got plenty to get to. We've got the news cruise coming up in a little bit. I got a great story, a baseball story. We've been talking about baseball a little bit throughout the week, given the radio trade deadline coinciding with Major League Baseball's trade deadline. They had that massive fight in the Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh Pirates game with Amir Garrett. He charged the entire Pirates team. Pirates are in the dugout. Amir Garrett's on the mound. Somebody said something that Amir Garrett did not like, and Amir Garrett wasn't having it. He got suspended 8 games for his part in starting that brawl. But it was glorious. So we'll get into a little bit of baseball story. Here's the thing, man. There's so many things out there to be interested in. All right, and I know that this show is basically news and politics. But on Fridays, I like to depart from all of it. You know, we'll talk about the latest with the president and Congress and the debates, and we get it all over with so we can just talk about other stuff. I mean, baseball is one of them. I'm a big sports guy. I love sports. I also love music. And if you didn't know, the band Tool is now on the streaming services. And I'm almost certain that Tool is one of your favorite bands. If you're out there riding around, you remember Tool, Sober, all the cool videos. Maynard and Adam and Justin. Before that, Paul and Danny. The guys from Tool. They're kind of like a prog metal band. I don't even know where the hell Tool's from. Where's Tool from? Nobody even knows. They're just kind of this weird band. They're their own thing. They came out in the early 90s, back in 92 with the first EP called Opiate. And they came out with this album called Undertow, which had the song Sober on it. You know the song Sober. All right, you know this song. All right, and so they've been kind of an enigma wrapped in a riddle. All right, Tool puts out an album like once every 7 or 8 years. They kind of come out from the woodwork, get together, and put out an album. Everybody's waiting for it. This legion of Tool fans, but they've been absent from the streaming services. So if you want to listen to Tool, you have to have their CDs, and who uses those anymore, right? When's the last time you popped in a CD to anything? Everybody's got Bluetooth. Everybody streams music from their phone or iPods, MP3s. So, for me, it's been like they've been out of rotation because everything I do, I stream it. I stream it from, the Spotify or my phone and iTunes. And so unless you've got all those songs loaded up, then you're not listening to Tool until today. And everybody's rejoicing. All the Tool records are on Spotify. So you've got, let's go, Opiate, the first EP back in 92. Then you've got Undertow, the follow-up in 1993. And it wasn't until 96 that they put out what I thought was their pinnacle, their magnum opus, so to speak, Anima. Fantastic record from front to back. And then all the crap they've put out since 1996. And listen, if you're all Tool fans, I'm getting raked over the coals for that hot take. And Tool's pinnacle was 1996, and anything after that was meh, kind of boring. But that said, go check out Tool. Maybe we'll get some Tool going. See, I don't know. Is Tool safe for the air? I'm not sure. I know they've got some curse words and whatnot. But yeah, I think that Spotify right now is like overloaded with all these crazy Tool fans, wanting to listen, get them back in the rotation. So I'm excited about that. So baseball, music. I'm a dad, so all the kids are a handful, and you worry about them, right? Are your kids getting along with other kids? Are they well adjusted? Are kids telling you everything? I got my kid, she's in camp right now, and most days she has a good time, and then sometimes she's like, you know what? I didn't feel like I was included today. Some other girls, they didn't let me in their group, and I'm like, I'm sorry about that. Well, what you need to do is start your own group. Be a separatist. Hang out with Dad and listen to Tool. Well, let's go to the park. Let's go to the playground, clear our heads. Well, I've talked about the parks out where I live, out east in Germantown. Now, the parks, I live adjacent to one, and I consider myself kind of like a de facto park ranger. All right, I'm kind of like the mayor of Riverdale Park, and how I've tried to angle with Mayor Mike Palazzolo about getting deputized, getting a badge and a gun and a vehicle and some sort of stipend and the keys to the bathrooms in the park. Because sometimes the bathrooms aren't unlocked. And my buddy Wolfman, I don't want him using the bathroom at my house. So he's forced to go behind a tree. But if he is caught doing that by the authorities, he could be arrested for indecent exposure and thereby have to register as a sex offender. And he's my friend. I don't want that to happen to him. Well, now Germantown has kind of revamped all the rules for the city parks, because here's the thing. There are city parks that are adjacent to schools. And those parks, playgrounds, they double as the playground for the students. And I always thought it was kind of weird, being somebody who lives adjacent to the park. Whenever I have in some kind of business at the school, maybe I have to go over and, I forgot my kid's spoon for her lunch. And if you forget a kid's spoon in their lunch and you pack applesauce, first thing you're going to hear about when your kid gets home. Hey, baby, how was school? How are you? Good to see you. You forgot my spoon in my lunch. I had to eat my applesauce with a fork, or I had to drink my applesauce. I'm like, well, I'm sorry about that. But that's the first thing a kid will tell you is if you forget something. So I'll take a snack over to school. I got to go check somebody out. Or I got a parent-teacher conference, whatever it is. I will walk through the playground where all the kids are playing. And I'm thinking to myself, man, just anybody can roll right up here. It is a public park. Well, now there's new rules governing who gets to use the public parks in Germantown and when. 2 parks adjacent to Germantown Municipal Schools have new rules restricting public use during school hours. Farmington Park and Riverdale Parks are often used for recess by students. The intent of the new rules, which control adult access during school hours, is to prioritize the safety of all visitors, according to Germantown Parks Commission members who voted unanimously in favor of these measures. It's incumbent on us to protect our children, says Mayor Mike Palazzolo. A subcommittee of Parks Commission met to study the rules for the parks. You have somebody named Gibson, who in this story is not referred to. Gibson said this is the time to do it, partially due to the recent renovation of Farmington Park. All right, going on. Basically, it's this. It's when kids are playing there at recess at school, they don't want creepy shirtless guy doing pull-ups on the monkey bars to go out there and kind of get his morning workout in, because that is kind of creepy. It's never okay to go out and do that during school hours. Usually, if you're going to go do pull-ups or any kind of calisthenics, maybe do that at the gym or maybe at your own house. Maybe don't go to the playground, which is built for kids 12 and under, in order to go do your pull-ups shirtless in the park. Maybe. See, I think there's something, between, there's somewhere between your shirtless guy doing pull-ups being creepy and then mom or dad with preschool-age children being in the park for their kids to play. All right, I think that if there's recess with a bunch of kindergartners and then a mom with a stroller and her 3-year-old is playing in the park, maybe at a separate playground designed for 3-year-olds, that's probably okay. But what we don't need is creepy shirtless guy, trying to do muscle ups on the monkey bars, out there working out. Or even a bunch of ladies doing yoga or kettlebells in the park while kids are at recess. We probably just don't need that. So I guess the deal is, if you are an adult, you can't be in the park without a kid. It's kind of like they did at Legoland. There was a rule at the Legoland in Atlanta. They would not let adults go to Legoland without a kid. You had to be accompanied by a child, which I thought was weird because adults like Legos too. But they just didn't want any creepy creepers going to go and, sniff children and whatnot. Now there's also at Farmington Park, which is across town. I don't go to it ever. They've got a basketball court. And this was a problem because Farmington Park is used as the playground for the kids who go to Farmington School. So they had a basketball court. And in the middle of the day, a bunch of shirtless, sweaty dudes will be playing pickup games for money, cursing at each other, playing street ball at the Farmington Park blacktop. And so when your kids are out there on the playground, they might want to play some hoops too, but you add these, 4, 5, 6 adults playing 3-on-3, banging down low and playing hard and cursing. And they're like, hey, this can't work. You can't have these people here playing ball while these kids are here. So there's new, during school hours, adults without children cannot be in the park. And I'm probably okay with it. Only because, look, you just got to use your head here. I don't want some weirdo adults playing pickup ball or doing calisthenics shirtless with the kids at the playground. But I am a playground dad, and I always got my kids with me. I'm not going to a playground without kids. That's odd. I'm not just going to take a walk in the park. I'll walk somewhere else. But there's a lot of people who are upset because people don't like rules. They're like, I pay for those public parks. I should be able to go do whatever I want. If I want to wear short, tight shorts and go do pull-ups shirtless, I'm a taxpayer and I should be able to do it. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, if you really want to make an issue of it. You could go to another park that's maybe not adjacent to a school. There are plenty. But I'm just saying, I don't want your creepy, shirtless, sweaty, hairy, possibly fat, naked body near my children while they're playing at recess. They don't need that kind of distraction, and you shouldn't be there. So those are new rules for the parks. Maybe we'll get Mike Palazzolo, the mayor of Germantown, on to maybe shed some further light on the decision-making. And this is interesting to me, all right? And then that's what I do. I save it for Friday. Other stuff, other than all the politics and all the news, the battle mayoral, all that stuff. So I may, at some point, I'm not sure when these rules go into effect, maybe on August 12th. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll put in my headphones, listen to Tool on Spotify, take my shirt off, and go do a bunch of pull-ups at Riverdale Park. Get all that in there before the school starts on August 12th. Maybe we'll do that. Coming up, this is a great story. This is a baseball story. This is about a guy with a live arm. This is right out of a Disney movie. All right, a guy has secured a spot with a Major League Baseball team after throwing the ball around at the park. Yeah, the old, hey, let's see how fast you can throw, the radar gun game, get some tokens. You go up there, you get 3 chances, and they show you how fast you can throw or how hard you can throw. Well, it worked out pretty well for one guy. We'll tell you this story next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
For baby boomers, here's something to think about. Will you have enough income during your retirement? Are you absolutely sure? Do you understand the difference between growth and income? How about bonds and bond funds? Are you 100% ready for RMDs? Do you have an estate plan? If you've said no to any of these, we can help. Right now, log on to theretirementincomeDoctor.com and tune in our brand new radio show right here, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
Memphis Cheer reminds listeners that many accidents are the result of distracted drivers talking or texting on their cell phones. Cell phone usage while driving is quickly becoming a problem on our roadways, so do your part to keep our streets safe and put the phone down while driving. This message is courtesy of your good friends at Memphis Cheer. We are located at 1375 Big Orange Road in Cordova. They are always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Groban and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide you monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
You and your friends and associates are invited to attend the Mississippi Senior Expo and Health Fair, Thursday, September 19th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Brown Missionary Baptist Church, located at 7200 Swinia Road in South Haven, Mississippi. There will be health exams, flu shots, entertainment, and this year, there'll be food trucks on site to allow you to enjoy lunch while you're there, and a demonstration on healthy living by the Silver Sneakers. The Mississippi Senior Expo and Health Fair is promoted by the DeSoto Times and the Best Times. Mark your calendar for September 19th. You'll be glad you did.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
The highest hurdle most of us ever get over is getting started on doing something every day. Start with a 5-minute walk every day. Have some comfort close by bedside. Jump on your treadmill, your stationary bike, or your sidewalk. Do 5 minutes and then go take a shower and get ready for your morning.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show, streaming live on KWAM.com.
That's the one. Yeah, that's a song everybody knows by Tool. Here in the Nation of Jake, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
Here we go. Yeah, we're talking about Tool getting back on the streaming services, back on for the first time ever. This is a long-awaited day, a red-letter day in rock music, because Tool's one of the greatest rock bands ever. They're like Pink Floyd meets Black Sabbath, and everybody loves this band, mostly dudes. You know, it's a dude band, right? But they put out these big records in the early 90s, and then they just kind of put a record out every 5 or 6 years, and the joke is, when is the new Tool record coming out? Well, it's not. It's coming out later this month, but I guess their last record came out like 7 years ago, or even, I mean, they just take their time. And so everybody's just kind of like, all right, guys, come on. And in the meantime, they were not on the streaming services, and everybody listens to music on their phone now. So today, Tool is on the streaming services. Thank goodness. Well, there we go. That's got a curse word in it, so I'm glad we missed all that. So it's fine. It's fine. But you look, on Fridays, we let loose a little bit. We talk about stuff other than politics. And baseball, along with heavy metal, is one of my favorite pastimes. I worked in baseball for a long time. I grew up playing baseball. I collected baseball cards. I love guys like Ricky Henderson, Dale Murphy, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, these were guys of my childhood. And I always wanted to be a baseball player. I was never very good at it. I was okay just playing rec ball, but I was never like super competitive. And I tried out to go play at Germantown High School in the 90s, and honestly, man, that was like a powerhouse. Phil Clark's Germantown High School Red Devils. Those guys went 38-0 in 1995. 38-0, they were the national champions, playing with guys like Jay Hood and Chris Lauterhaus, and those guys, they were just really great players. Before that, hell, Mickey Callaway went to GHS, and he now manages the Mets. And the Mets could make the playoffs. They've had a rough one. They're like 4 games out of the wild card right now. So, listen, I grew up around really good baseball programs. I was never really part of a really good baseball program, but I love to play. And one of the dreams you've got is, hey, you know what? What if I went out to one of those tryouts, like open tryouts, like the Atlanta Braves or St. Louis Cardinals, whoever you follow, is going to have an open tryout. And you go out there and you pick up the old ball and you start hurling it at like 96 miles per hour, and some scout is like, holy crap, kid, you got a live arm. You got good stuff. And between, spitting tobacco out. That would be a dream, wouldn't it? Well, it happened for one guy. Check this out. This is right out of a screenplay. Baseball fan Nathan Patterson lit up the speed pitch radar booth at Coors Field a few weeks back while taking in a game with his brother. All right, the speed pitch radar booth. You go into a place like Coors Field in Lodo, lower downtown Denver. You go to Coors Field, you walk around the concourse, all kinds of attractions. All right, one of them is the radar speed pitch. You get in there for a buck or two, depending on how many tokens you get. I don't know what the prices are like now. And you get in and you get to throw at a target. And it's usually like, one of the great Colorado Rockies, the Todd Heltons, the Dante Bichettes, the Larry Walkers, whoever's up there. And you get to pitch. And it's usually like a tarp or something. Maybe there's a target, some sort of box, the strike zone. So you're up there, you're giving it your all. All right, you are not properly warmed up. But you can get in there and you can hurl it a little bit. I top out at about 74 as far as my ability to throw. I grew up playing with a guy named Jason, my best friend growing up, Jason Bavin. This guy had a live arm, man. He had good stuff. He was probably 5'6". He weighed 100 and nothing. And this guy just had Popeye forearms. He could throw the ball 85 miles per hour. He did not know where it was going. And if you were a kid up there against Bavin, my God, you were scared to death. Because he was wild. But man, he could throw hard. And 85 miles per hour is not going to get you into the majors. But still, it's pretty. There are guys who've made the majors who work in that, Jamie Moyers and guys like that who can make that work. But you're not going to wow a scout with 85 miles per hour. Now this Nathan Patterson at Coors Field in Denver, he goes up to the radar speed pitch. And he casually throws 96. This kid, he's 24 years old or so. He's just there with his brother checking out the Rockies game in Denver on July 15th, just a couple weeks ago. And he's just up there casually throwing 96 miles per hour. Now, that's going to get the attention of somebody. And it did. It got the attention of scouts with the Oakland A's. And now he has a contract with the Oakland Athletics. He has a Major League Baseball contract. He's 23. Let me correct the age. The backstory makes the journey to the majors. He's not in the majors yet. He's got a contract with the team. He's gonna go in the minor league system. Patterson played high school baseball, but never pursued the sport in college. And then he started taking baseball seriously again last August. He originally caught the A's attention at a Nashville Sounds game, the AAA affiliate at the time, where he threw 96 miles per hour at their speed pitch. And then a video some months later in Denver at the Colorado Rockies game, he throws 96 again. So it's not just like some kind of fluke. Patterson told MLB.com he hadn't thrown for years before last August and noted of his high school playing days, I didn't really have a good arm then. It's like, hold on, man. What happened between your high school days when you were 18 and 23? What happened in that 5 years that you're able now to throw 96 miles per hour? Because 96 miles per hour coming at you from 60 feet 6 inches, I mean, that is heat. That is good. There are guys who can throw harder than that, but to throw in the mid-90s consistently, that's major league stuff. While that re-inspired him to pursue the sport, he was injured in a car accident in December and needed surgery. But Patterson stayed resilient, kept training, and stayed sharp in a rec league. Imagine that. Imagine like being in a rec league, you're playing some fall ball with some old broke down dudes, and some kid comes up and he starts hurling 96 at you. It's scary, man. Think digging in against a major league pitcher who throws even 90 miles per hour. Because these guys can not only throw 90 miles per hour, they'll throw 90 miles per hour and it moves around. I mean, when I was working in Major League Baseball, I was up close. I mean, I could go up at, batting practice at the cage. One time I got to see Tim Hudson, who pitched for the A's. He pitched for Oakland, he pitched for Atlanta, and he pitched for San Francisco. Tim Hudson, again, this guy is probably 5'9", probably 170 pounds. He could throw the ball 90, 91. But he had this sinking motion on it, and he could throw a slider. And you just see this coming at you. You're like, oh my, how do you process, this ball's coming at you. Where is it? Is it hittable? What kind of spin does it have on it? And then have the presence of mind then to make the decision to swing, hit the ball, and get it in play. It's unbelievable, the coordination and the physical skills that these guys have. But this right here, man, a guy who hadn't played baseball in years. I played in high school, and now I'm 23. And, just right out of college age, hadn't played in years, but then I'm just going to go humming along at 96 at a speed pitch booth in Denver, and then gets a deal with the A's. Awesome stuff. And again, it gets right out of a movie. Remember, there's a couple movies like this. There was one that was goofy. The kid, it was called Rookie of the Year. A kid named Henry Rowan Gardner injures his arm, and he gets surgery or whatever, and he comes out and he can throw real hard. And that's kind of like a take on the whole Tommy John surgery. Guys come back throwing harder from Tommy John surgery, which is ulnar ligament replacement. They take a cadaver ligament or one from your hip, and they replace your elbow ligament with it. And it's usually the rehab these guys go through that makes them throw harder and not, them tightening up that ligament in their elbow. Maybe a combination of the two. But yeah, Rookie of the Year was one. A little kid, he hurts his arm and it makes him throw hard. Get it. But then there were some other ones. There's a guy named Jim Morris. Jim Morris was a baseball player, I guess, in high school, college, and maybe in the minor leagues. And then he retired from baseball and he went to go coach. But then I guess one day he was throwing BP to his team, these kids, and he was throwing real hard. And they said, "Hey, Coach Morris, you've got to go and try out for a major league team, whatever." I guess he ended up with the Tampa Bay Rays. I guess they were the Devil Rays at the time. That movie's called The Rookie with Dennis Quaid, and that's based on a true story. And then I know there was one called Trouble with the Curve with Clint Eastwood. And I'm not sure if that was the premise of it. But this is like real deal, man. Put him in a movie. So, Nathan Patterson. Again, here's the thing about it, though. Even if you are, say, the best high school player and you go play in college and you're the best player in college and then you go into the minor leagues, you're playing against all the other U's. You're playing against all those kids who are the best in high school, best on their team growing up, the best college players. The fact that Nathan Patterson, throwing 96 at the Rockies game, has a contract to play professional baseball is pretty amazing. It would be even more amazing, infinitely more amazing if this guy was to make it to the show. And it would be fantastic if he did. I mean, just imagine that. Imagine just like being a bystander. Imagine being the next guy in line at the speed pitch. You're up there, you're 40, you're out of shape, and your kids are like, "Hey, Dad, go up here. Let's see how hard you can throw, Daddy." You're like, "Okay, I'm waiting in line for it." And the kid in front of you goes up there and hits 96 on the gun. Unreal. That's cool, though. And I'm gonna mark this and maybe follow his career a little bit, find out how he does. That would be great to see him say, be an all-star closer or something. That would be fantastic. There you have it. So, Ed, that's a much better story than Amir Garrett attacking the Pittsburgh Pirates as a one-man wrecking crew from the other night. It's also better than all the trade deadline. Radio trade deadline goes by, no trades whatsoever. Major League Baseball trade deadline goes by. There were some trades. There were some blockbusters. I won't bore you with the details. All right, so in a little bit, I want to tell you about the cease and desist letter I got from Elvis Presley Enterprises over yesterday's Shark Attack tune. I'll refresh that story and let you know what the folks over at Elvis Presley Enterprise had to say about it. But first, we got to get to our news cruise. All the headlines in a leisurely fashion. We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump has withdrawn the nomination of Texas Republican Congressman John Ratcliffe to replace Dan Coates as National Intelligence Director. Ratcliffe has bowed out amid media reports that he embellished his resume for the job.
There was an intense amount of media scrutiny on his background, his qualifications. The mandate underlying the role of DNI is pretty explicit that it requires extensive national security expertise.
CBS News Intelligence and National Security reporter Olivia Gazis.
CBS News took a look at his tenure on the House Intelligence Committee, which would have been where he would have gained a lot of intelligence community specific expertise, and found that his engagement with the issues was rather modest.
Ratcliffe's withdrawal has congressional leaders pushing the president to fill that position on an interim basis and as soon as possible. Coates' departure becomes official on the 15th. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Chenevey.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
This is Clark Howard. I have something that totally polarizes Americans, and it's not politics. It's yards. Do you know more and more Americans are putting in fake grass for their lawns instead of traditional grass? The great thing about this is over time it saves you a lot of money. You'll pay typically 6 times the cost to put in an artificial grass instead of real grass at your home. Even to dig up the grass you have and put in artificial. You may wonder, why would I spend that money? Because after that, you don't spend money on watering the lawn. You don't have to cut the lawn. You don't have to have a lawn service. It is an enormous savings. And the cool thing is the fake grasses being sold now look so much like real grass, have imperfections in them and weeds, you can't tell a lot of times.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest-growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Home Advisor.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Also on YouTube, the channel Nation of Jake, one word, Nation of Jake on YouTube. You can stream the show there. And also the Nation of Jake podcast will be up and ready for stream or download after the show concludes. You can also stream Tool now. Everybody's very excited about that. I know Earl is really excited about being able to stream the band Tool on his Spotify. Oh.
Yeah, you told me that this morning. I was going,
Tool, yeah. Sober. They got a song, Swamp Song.
Tool Time, the TV show.
Yeah, Tool Time with Tim Taylor. Yeah, Tim and Al.
Yeah.
An old Tool Time. No, different thing altogether. But I know that Earl, You'll recognize it when you hear it. We'll maybe get into that, as well as my cease and desist from Elvis Presley Enterprises right now.
I was wondering about that when you played that yesterday. I was thinking, because Elvis Presley, they got a monitoring service that is
yes, they do.
Comprehensive.
And I got cease and desisted. We'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, though, it's time for the news cruise. Yeah, a leisurely look at the headlines from around town, Memphis and beyond. We do it now in the Nation of Jake.
News, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. The news cruise, full of exciting news. The news cruise, so relax and kick off your shoes.
All right, welcome aboard the news cruise. It's brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows, they can clean windows, but that's not all. No. They've expanded. Blinds, ceiling fans, gutters. They do pressure washing. Yeah, they do it all. So you need to call Just Windows at 751-3934. That's 751-3934. If there's anything you need done around the house, say you've got some floodlights way up high on your second level that need to be changed, the guys at Just Windows can do it. If you don't want to get up there on your roof, get it cleaned off. Maybe you got branches up there and your gutters are just a hazard for mosquitoes and West Nile virus. The guys from Just Windows Home Services can help you out. Give them a call, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. And get 20% off when you tell them the Nation of Jake sent you. That's Just Windows online at justwindowsmemphis.com. All right, going through the headlines here on a Friday in the Nation of Jake. Here's one that's in. Corey Strong is going to challenge U.S. Representative Steve Cohen in the Democrat primary for that Tennessee 9th District seat. Corey Strong, I believe wasn't he in charge of the Shelby County Democrats for a while?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that he was the head of the Shelby County Democrat Party for some time. And every year we see somebody who decides they're going to run against Representative Steve Cohen. And it seems like every year Steve Cohen gets 90% of the vote out of that district. It's pretty amazing that he's been able to be in that seat for as long as he has. So good luck to Corey Strong. I would like to see that. He's a Navy veteran, former chairman of the Shelby County Democrat Party. He's going to challenge Steve Cohen. Now, I hope this has a different outcome than most of the challenges to Steve Cohen, but we do have the first maybe of a few. But at this point, we just have to assume that Steve Cohen is going to get close to what he's always gotten. The best indicator of the future we have is the past, and Steve Cohen seems to do pretty well in that district. We've got some speculation here, and not only the latest from that South Haven Walmart shooting where Martez Abram, 39 years old, went into the Walmart and shot two of his coworkers just days after he was suspended for brandishing a knife at a coworker. There is now speculation as to whether or not a red flag law could have prevented that shooting. Now, a red flag law would allow law enforcement to remove weapons from somebody who is suicidal or an imminent threat to others. Now, in this situation, Martez Abram brandished a knife at someone. It's kind of a stretch to say that he was suicidal or an imminent threat to somebody else. If he brandished a weapon, according to the police report, the coworker to whom he brandished the weapon in the report said, he didn't pull it on me, he didn't threaten me with it, he just showed it to me. That said, there are these laws in the country, around the country, but not in Tennessee, Arkansas, or Mississippi, that would allow law enforcement or courts to remove weapons from somebody who does pose an imminent threat. Now, this is not a right-left, conservative, liberal thing. There's been a call from the Trump administration for every state to adopt red flag laws. And Representative John DeBerry of Memphis, he brought this forth in the state legislature. So, it's one of those things where can a law like this be useful in preventing attacks like the one we saw? Maybe. But in this situation, would the court have enough cause to take away this guy's weapons that were legally obtained because he brandished a knife at somebody? I don't know. It doesn't follow that just because he showed somebody that he had a knife that he is either suicidal or an imminent threat to somebody else. And where do you draw that line? I showed somebody a hunting knife. Oh well, he's a threat. Take away his weapons. I think that's what people don't like, is the idea that a law like that could be abused. Oh, this is crazy. This is from across the river over in Crittenden County, West Memphis. All right. A West Memphis man on trial for attempted murder fled the courthouse Wednesday while the jury deliberated. This guy was on trial for attempted murder, and he was able to leave the courthouse because he was out on bond. He was not in custody. Madricus Blakes, he walked right out the front door while the jury was deliberating, and police also say that Blake's had caught a ride home with a juror on Tuesday night after arguments in the trial wrapped up. A bailiff says he saw Blake's get into an orange Camaro. He says he noticed a juror driving the same Camaro Wednesday morning. The juror, admitted to taking Blake's home. He claims they did not talk about the case, but the judge decided to replace him with an alternate juror prior to deliberations. Can you imagine, like, all the poor judgment that's going on? You're serving on a jury, and you're driving home, and you see the defendant, and he flags you down for a ride, and you actually stop and let him in your car? What are they doing over there in Crittenden County, Arkansas? Good Lord, he just walks right out. And by the way, he's on the loose. He's on the lam. If you've seen him, West Memphis Police need your help. 870-735-1210. It's pretty amazing. Oh, by the way, he was guilty. He was convicted of two counts of attempted murder, and I guess he knew that was coming, so he just left. Good Lord. FedEx has announced additional $450 million investment in the Memphis hub. I mean, they pretty much already own it. Honestly, from what I understand, when Delta pulled out, the Memphis Airport Authority, whoever was in charge over there, was like, yeah, so. Like, they were charging a lot of money for Delta to keep operations there. Because honestly, they're like, we really don't need you that much. We got FedEx over here as our main tenant. And so that's good and bad. Because I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people who would love for Delta to still be a hub. Because, what is it? You got to fly through Dallas now to get anywhere out of Memphis? Like, where does Memphis fly direct to anymore? It's crazy. I went to Seattle. It was cheaper for me. It was less expensive for me to drive to Nashville and get a direct flight to Seattle than it was to take any flight out of Memphis to Seattle. So, yes.
You go to Dallas direct. And I think
sure Southwest. That's a Southwest hub, yeah.
And you can go to Austin on, was it Reliant Airlines?
Yeah, but who wants to go on Reliant Airlines?
You want to get there without changing planes.
Yeah, but don't they like charge you a bunch of stuff for like
they
carry on? Yeah. If you want to wear shoes on the plane.
Got a pocket full of change.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, so they charge you for like, farting on the plane. That'll be $10, sir.
I'm all for
Hold
that.
it in, no way.
I'm all for that.
Oh, and then we got a couple of things here, and this is just silly. This belongs in the What the Hell segment. French's Mustard has created a mustard flavor ice cream to celebrate National Mustard Day, which I guess was yesterday. The world does not need mustard-flavored ice cream. Nobody wants that.
No.
Tastes like cold mustard, which would be delicious on a hot dog, not so much in a bowl with chocolate on it. So, French's says they're planning to serve the ice cream with a pretzel cookie, maximizing on these sweet and savory cravings. You can have that, but not to be outdone, Oscar Mayer is releasing a hot dog-infused ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever eat a cold hot dog wing?
Yeah, I'll eat a cold hot dog, fine, but I don't need any hot dog sandwich. Ice dog sandwich is what it's going to be. It's going to be the ice cream flavor here with hot dogs on a cookie bun. Real bits of candied Oscar Mayer hot dog in the sweet cream, spicy Dijon gelato. Oh, no. You can have all that. Miss me with those flavors. All right, coming up, I'm going to share with you a letter, a forcefully worded letter from Elvis Presley Enterprises over a song that was featured on the program yesterday. This is a cease and desist. I'm going to share with you next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs, those little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
Did you know that your potential customers look at your website and determine your credibility within 8 seconds? Make sure your business reflects the quality service you provide. Contact Control-Alt Design for a free quote today. Today's marketplace is very competitive, and you need a professional web presence. Control-Alt Design offers web design at a fraction of what the larger firms charge. Control-Alt Design has been helping local businesses stand out on the web for over 20 years. They also offer logo design, business card design, flyers, brochures, and more. See their work today at ControlAltDesign.com.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on Facebook. Check that, YouTube. The YouTube channel is Nation of Jake. The Nation of Jake podcast forthcoming. All right, so yesterday on the program, I played a song. This is a song it's been around, floating around the internet for a while. I like to bring it up around Shark Week every year because Shark Week and Elvis Week used to be the same week, as I pointed out on the program yesterday. And there was a reason for that. I told you the whole story about Elvis Presley being approached to contribute a song to the Jaws soundtrack in 1975. It didn't work out so well for Elvis. You know, he got, and this is the way the story goes, right? This is what I've been told by Elvis's inner circle, people who are very close to the king. He got an advanced copy, like a reel-to-reel, of the first cut of Jaws. And he took it down in Graceland to his media room. You know, he's got the little movie theater down there. And he watched it, and he came up with a brilliant track, kind of outlining the entire plot of Jaws. And so I played the audio yesterday, and then I come in, and this has arrived to the station. And boy, that was quick. This must have been hand-delivered. This is a cease and desist letter from Elvis Presley Enterprises. And I'm just going to read it right off the page, okay? It says, to Nation of Jake, care of KWAM Radio, dated 8/1/19. R.E. Elvis Lost Audio. And it reads as follows. To whom it may concern, on Thursday, August 1st, 2019, at approximately 2:56 p.m. Central Standard Time, your station aired material deemed by Elvis Presley Enterprises to be proprietary, unreleased audio without express written consent of Elvis Presley Enterprises. This letter serves as a cease and desist notice. Any further airing of the material in question will result in legal action. Furthermore, you will be compelled by copyright law to destroy any and all copies of said material. This is your final warning. Sincerely, Claude Henry Smoot, Chief Copyright Counsel, Elvis Presley Enterprises.
Mr. Smoot.
Mr. Smoot has let me know in no uncertain terms that I cannot play that audio anymore, which I think pretty much proves that the audio is legit. Absolutely 100%. Because yesterday on the program, Earl Farrell accused me of making this up, of telling stories outside of school, and I didn't appreciate that. But look, you want to read this? Here, look at this, and that looks legit as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it?
Oh,
I mean, that's a bunch of legalese, threats. But here's the thing about it. You know, he thinks he can just send me a letter. It's Claude Henry Smoot. I don't answer to you, Claude Henry Smoot.
Well, you will listen to them when they file suit.
Well, that's fine. Fine, they can file suit.
You can talk about it, but
Yeah.
if you play it again, they're gonna.
But hold on, it says care of KWAM Radio, so I'm thinking that George is going to be on the hook for this. I mean, I've got some sort of cover, don't I? I mean, we've got.
Blame it on George.
Because I'm just going to go ahead and do it. It's going to. Boom. This is that song, Elvis Presley's Shark Attack. I don't care what Claude Henry says.
I'm Martin Brody, I'm the chief of police. A mutilated body washed up on the beach. I called Matt Hooper and Captain Quint. This was no boating accident, shark attack.
It's really brilliant what Elvis was able to do. He's taking quotes from the movie.
If you're going to the beach, turn back. We're dealing with a shark attack. I've been slinging chum all
Yeah, he's chumming the waters.
Shooting at it with a harpoon. How many barrels will it take to float? We're gonna need a bigger boat. Shark attack.
Another great quote from the film. So yeah, Claude Henry, you go ahead and file your little lawsuit. That's fine. I know you guys are litigious over there. Here we go.
I watched Captain Quint get eaten alive. Hooper disappeared on a deep sea dive. Now my trigger finger's starting to itch. Then I said, smile, you son of a bitch. Shark attack.
Oh my goodness. See, I think it's brilliant. I thought
had nothing to do with this.
That's fine, but Claude Henry, look, you're the one who said I made this all up. I'm not making it up. I'm just it's genuine, it's authentic, and I've got the cease and desist letter to prove it. And I'm sure that George will be contacted by Elvis Presley Enterprises.
There's the letter right there.
There's the letter. So we've got it all. You know, it's all on the up and up. All right. I'm going to get out of here for the weekend. I'm going to let Earl take over. I'll be back Monday at 1. In the meantime, so long and thanks for all the fish.
This is the Voice KWAM Memphis. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
I'm Jim Sheneby. President Trump has announced he's withdrawing the nomination of Texas Congressman John Ratcliffe to be the nation's next national security director. Ratcliffe, or director of national intelligence. Ratcliffe has been the subject of reports recently alleging he's embellished his resume for that job. CBS's Olivia Gazis.
There were real questions about whether Congressman Ratcliffe, who was formerly a mayor,